protecting public property from alleged mismanagement or theft by officials of the previous administration, no formal complaints have been lodged. No evidence has been presented, and no investigations have been initiated to the best of our knowledge. Without more, their claims are nothing more than a smooth screen for their acts of violence and disruption. As if these institutional takeovers were not enough, reports indicate that official residences of public officers and civil servants have also come under attack. Judicial officers who represent the last bastion of justice and impartiality in this country have had their homes vandalized and their families threatened. These attacks on the judiciary strike at the heart of our democracy. A judiciary under siege cannot dispense justice or act independently. And this undermines the very foundation of our democratic system. Civil servants, many of whom have served this nation with professionalism and dedication, have also become targets of these hooligans. Officials, residents of directors of ministers, heads of some state institutions, and other state officials have been invaded by mobs who forcibly accuse them of political bias.
We must also recognize that elections are not without their challenges. Disagreements, tensions, and competition are natural in any democratic process. However, we must also remember that these challenges should not divide us. They should inspire us to work harder for peace and understanding. And that is why, once again, I call on all our supporters and other persons who are involved in illegal actions, such as looting goods and occupying government offices and installations, to desist from doing this. We must do things differently to maintain the trust and confidence that Ghanaians have reposed in us. Many people have said it is the same thing the MPP did when they came in 2017, and that's why Ghanaians have voted them out. We must not copy the mistakes that they made. And so I plead with our supporters, let us do things in an orderly manner. The government is being formed, ministers will be put in place, other officials will be appointed, and as I promised, we'll have our full cabinet within 14 days. And so we'll have ministers in charge, and if you have any issues, you can go to our ministers and have them resolved. So please, let's exercise restraint.
The Parliamentary Training Institute, since its establishment, has been...
Even though this election passed on peacefully, we must recognize that a few of our citizens lost their lives. My understanding is almost 5 of our citizens were killed in the process of the election. This is not the first time. In 2020, we know that 8 of our citizens were killed. If these continue and justice is not served, then what it does is it breeds impunity. And that's why, as a party, we have said that we must investigate and find out what led to these killings so that we can take action so that they don't happen again. So I've asked my secretary, executive secretary, to write to the IGP to give us a report on the status of investigations into these killings. Justice must be done, and we also will ask the Attorney General when he takes office to determine fair and adequate compensation for the families of those who have lost their lives. As we offer our thanksgiving today, we must remember that the end of elections marks the beginning of greater responsibility for all of us. Regardless of political affiliation, we must work together to work towards our shared vision, and that is the development and prosperity of Ghana. The West African gas pipeline was supposed to take place in October last year. At the intervention of this government, it was postponed till January. This is a long delayed maintenance and has to be urgently done. But what it means is that there will be no gas available for all our generating plants in the east of Ghana, that is the Tema Enclave, because it will have curtailed the gas coming from Nigeria and the gas that comes in the reverse flow from our gas processing plants in the west. And so it means that the thermal generating plants in the Tema Enclave would have no access to gas. And normally, to forestall blackouts because of the loss of almost 2,000 megawatts of power, we have to make provision for fuel. And this is light crude oil, heavy fuel oil, and distillate fuel. Unfortunately, enough provision was not made for this eventuality. When the fuel arrives, it takes time to import it, 3 weeks to place an order and get it delivered. And when it arrives, you have to treat the fuel for another week and a half to make it ready for use in the generating plants. And so there's a threat of power outages. But my brothers and sisters, don't despair. Like I said, you elected us to solve the problems, not to put the blame on anybody else or to shoulder you with those problems. And so yesterday I called a meeting of all the stakeholders in the electricity value chain. And they have been sitting since yesterday to today to come out with innovative solutions so that we're able to keep the lights on. And so I can assure you, with some of the ideas they've come up with, we would make sure that your lights stay on and that we do not have doomsday, as you popularly call it. Education is the cornerstone of national progress. And to this end, as promised, while strengthening basic education, we will sustain and enhance the free SHS policy so that we gain the benefits that it is intended to bestow. We will address challenges such as overcrowding to ensure quality education at all levels. Our plans also include free tuition for first-year students entering public tertiary institutions, the completion of abandoned e-blocks, and investments to provide equitable learning opportunities nationwide and across the whole education value chain. These initiatives will empower our youth with the skills needed to excel in a rapidly changing world. We shall emphasize technical vocational education and training so that we can produce the skilled manpower that is needed for business and industry. I'm going to set up a planning committee to start working on the National Education Review Conference that I promised.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, so it's the 13th of January 2025. You're welcome to Good Morning Ghana. And today, let me just use this opportunity to say that today marks the very first day that we're taking over Good Morning Ghana from Dr. Randy Abe, who actually bowed out last week, and I'm sure most of you witnessed the event, and it was quite an emotional one. We just want to say a very big thank you to the colossus of our media landscape, who gave us the chance, entered the room and opened the door, kept the door open for some of us to be able to go through as well. So Dr. Randy Abe, wherever you find yourself this morning, adios, and thank you also for the opportunity. And we'll also continue the work here at Metro TV, as it has always been. For 23 years, the show has served Ghana well and has served the people. It represents the voice of the people, and so will it continue to go on and do the work of the country. All right, my name is Anil from Pofon. We go through the newspapers this morning. Start off with the Daily Graphic, and it says, volunteers calls to deploy 100,000 to support Ghana's development. National Cathedral probes soon, President Mahama. President reduces number of ministries. Labour Federation welcomes realignment. Prioritize national interest above partisanship, Speaker tells MPs. Sunyani Queen Mother files suit against Yao Ajare Akwamuhene. The Ghanaian Times. Nation thanks God for peaceful elections. President orders probe into electoral killings, directs Land Commission to hold sale leasing of public lands. GVC to deploy 100,000 volunteers to support President Mahama's vision. The New Crusading Guide. Young Elephants probe DEEP on masking the truth behind MPP's 2024 electoral laws. Our wing gods totally ban galamsey on their land. And you see in the pictures the Awing traditional community trying to perform some rituals on the land. We hope that that will deter galamsey boys from destroying the natural resources. Amankrado for Bosso traditional area destood for defiling, impregnating 14-year-old JHS students. NIB Director General denies contact with Oral, exposes Martin Kwebu. Akboman land saga, land owners urged to regularize tenancy with Enoch Adokwe Papo following court ruling. It's a game changer. World Bank VIP hails impactful SOCO progress. Slain Jamestown Chief Priest family demands justice, urges President Mahama to order for investigation. The Insight newspaper. The Insight newspaper. Arrest MPP ministers involved in corruption. Novihoho Afaglo urges President John Mahama. I will expose all appointees of Akufo-Addo who stole our money. Hopes Nadoye. Dispute over Ablekuma North recollection exercise. Care Ghana warns against manufacturing fake pink sheets. Calls for return of elections in 62 polling stations. U.S. African partners begin planning largest military exercise on African continent. The Herald. Upon Nkrumah caught up in $5 million government housing deal. Leaked document reveals contract awarded days after election defeat. Tussle emerges in NDC over local government ministry. 3 names pop up. Court hears contempt case against COP Nyonu, 2 others today. Oral exposes state properties grabbed by Akufo-Addo officials as security couple denies involvement. Mahama rolls out 3 key manifesto promises. The Daily Statesman. First female VIP sign of Ghana's commitment to gender equality. Youth wild over killing of 3 at Newmont Ahafo Why MPP lost 2024 elections. Young Elephants Group launches independent probe. Keen eyes on presidency appointments as Bahama reduces ministries. SOCO project described as game changer. The Daily Searchlight. Horror at Accra High. Director General of GES petitioned over public assault on female students. Mahama must declare state of emergency on Galamsey. Yoko conscious citizens press release. 20 virgins receive award from SDA Church. Hey, yeah, do you know? United Nations open nominations for Nelson Mandela Prize, and then at the top right corner it says MPA allays fears of petrol shortage in the north. So these Virgins Awards, how are they able to determine their virginity, their state of virginity? The Ghanaian publisher, CRI, cautions against free SHS burden transfer. Young Elephants probe NPP's defeat. World Bank VIP Hills SOCO project. Cutting down ministries, not about efficient government reforms. Bright Simmons. Cutting down ministries, not about efficient government reforms. Bright Simmons. And then we also have Daily Post. NIB, into brackets BNI, used to be boss, busted. Land Commission document shows he acquired state land at cantonments for 160,000 Ghana cedis. President Mahama reduces the number of ministries from 30 to 23. Mahama directs immediate distribution of stored food to alleviate SHS shortages. Vetting of ministerial nominees begins today, and we'll be following through. Metro TV will bring you all the updates of the vetting activities of the ministers that have been nominated so far by the new administration, the new Mahama administration. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I'll introduce a guest and we'll start the discussion.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. He purchased in my room.
Oh.
You've been giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN rewards, sir. Talk, text, browse, and more, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Didn't tell me anything. Yeah. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'm gonna call my mom. I'll call my grandma. I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN.
Welcome to the Alisa brunch, your special Sunday treat. Good food, great and relaxing ambience, and excellent service. Come to your second home every Sunday. The Alisa Sunday brunch.
Hey, girl, what's up?
to be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for internet. So no shaking. I have NHIS already.
Ask your son a line, ting.
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in your office when you can just download your app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quickly. Please, Seth, I'm starting work next month.
Ghana Post.
Hey, Nano Pay one Kasa welcome who say. And you're my brother, Mr. Happiness and Hame. Missy, who say Ghana Post I fast, reliable, and affordable. Now saying, Nanuma and the Janya Kuma Midi, and the command or Ghana Post. We're dinning now. And it's a was a swan Masakodija, Medical Ghana Post you. Wait, Kobi Kakra. Ghana Post,
the most affordable delivery option for food and merchandise from Ghana to everywhere in the world. Connect with us today and see for yourself. Ghana Post, smart, secure deliveries.
Mensa coming package, in less than 5 days. Ghana Post, they make life they big. Ghana Post will deliver to you wherever you are in the world.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and Aerocop brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the Aerocop with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and Aerocop organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
A home is never complete without the warmth of family, the assurance of security, and the joy of shared moments. Whether you are returning home from abroad or seeking a new beginning, Rehoboth Havens Ayimensa is where your journey truly begins. Discover the perfect balance of modern living and natural beauty with flexible installment plans available to make your dream home a reality. Our 2 and 3 bedroom houses offer spacious interiors, elegant designs, and all the comfort meet your family needs. Experience a lifestyle of convenience, progress, and security. Each home is crafted with care, ensuring your family enjoys every moment. Rehoboth Havens is more than just a gated estate. It's a vibrant community. From safe playgrounds to serene surroundings, it's the perfect place for families to thrive. Join a growing community that values safety, comfort, and affordable housing. Your future starts here. Rehoboth Havens, where your housing dream becomes a reality. Visit www.rehobothsocialhousing.com to learn more.
Look around. Home also need a makeover. Oh, mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashform store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashform, feel it, know it.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. Bet Saver.
All right, you're welcome back to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana. Let me just remind you that Kel 360 toothpaste is still on the market and it's approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Safe for your family, provides your family with an all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. Kel 360 toothpaste is also good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be proud of it by constantly stepping out and using Kel 360 toothpaste. It's a product from Samara Company Limited and available in all provision shops. And if you want some bulk purchase, you contact 024-686-4798. Kel 360 toothpaste. Happy smile. All right. Let me just quickly introduce the guest to you this morning. I have Laratu Musa Saka, who is a member of the NPP communications team. Do I now say that you are the former Deputy Executive Director for Courier Services Regulatory Commission?
It's in order.
It's in order. Have you left office officially?
No, I have to put in my notice to leave. So
you have to put in your...
My notice to leave, yeah.
So you're still in office?
Well, technically.
I mean, the Courier Services Regulatory Commission, was it set up when you came into office, or it was in existence before you came?
That institution is 20 years old. It
was
set
20
up in
years old.
2003, Annie.
I always wanted to have an interview with you on that. I never did. I'm sorry.
You never wanted to.
Yes,
if you
I'm
wanted
sorry.
to, you
and
would
I didn't take my time to read about it.
It's not late. It's not late to have I mean, it's very, it's an area that regulation of that space, looking at the development by virtue of digitalization that is happening in that space. I mean, people are placing convenience above everything. So with the delivery and the postal service that is also going through a lot of reforms, the regulator has to be really empowered to regulate as it should be. I mean, you are shocked this 20 years old. It was set up in 2003.
I'm even surprised that it is more or less a political appointment.
I mean,
because
it's
courier services,
no matter how you are appointed, you still go through the Public Services Commission process to be there. So whilst you're there, so I can confidently say I was acting in that position. But once you have a government coming in with its own policies and plans for a particular institution, obviously it's just fair to have people who are part of the thinking to be there to implement those things. I think it's just fair having people who believe in what the government of the day intends to do within that sector, to do it and do it well. Obviously, I can't, I campaign for a different approach to some of these things. Obviously, I can't be part of building it up. Not that I don't have the capacity, but as a matter of principle, those who believed and campaigned to do those things should champion it.
So for, let's say, 8 years of being in office.
No, I haven't been in office in 8 years.
Were you?
I went there December 2018. So let's say 6 years.
December 2018?
Yeah, that was when I went to that institution.
So the occupants of the office were in the previous administration before you took over? Or it was?
Appointments were made, previous executive secretary. I mean, it had been an institution that has not really had attention for a long time. So when my boss was appointed, we went in around the same time of the. I think she went in November. No, I went in November or October. She came in a month after. So we've been there for 6 years.
6 years. So for the 6 years, what were you able to do to improve?
I mean, in terms of improving
the environment, the ecosystem of the courier services.
Improving it, adding on to the numbers, those are statistics we can share. But one of the things we also pushed for was trying to review the conditions of service, trying to get a scheme of service for then also having a proper scheduling of roles and responsibilities. But one of the key things that we also introduced, and I hope whoever comes after us continue, was seeking board approval to pilot the one by car system. So one of the things we realized early on was people, young graduates, young people who have come out of school, entrepreneurs who want to venture into the delivery business have to pay the same fees as people categorized as domestic small operators who have more than 1 to 5 bikes. So that was one of the things we piloted. So all the person needed was to have the Ghana card, apply for the license, and we go through the other processes. So they were paying lower. But the good thing is you don't stay in one category. We also monitor the progress of the various categories and upgrade where need be, and downgrade if the request is made and our assessment shows that the person is no longer either operating at the level that we put them or operating below the level that we put them. So that's one of the key things, right? In terms of institutionalizing, giving visibility to the place, bringing on board, trying to organize the operators into an identifiable group was also one key thing that we pushed and that can also be improved.
I mean, I don't see that office as one of those very, like you said, it doesn't attract so much attention.
No, it doesn't.
So I don't see it as an office that probably will be taken over soon by the administration. But should they?
They should.
Should they?
No, they should. It's a very key area. Honey,
it generates...
Courier delivery has moved beyond non-edibles.
How much do you bring in the national kitty annually?
That is something that I'll need to check and give to you. But we have, apart from getting compensation, obviously, is paid by government. But we also have a target of IGF, which is capped anyway. So we retain 66%. Government retains the rest. So we are given every year, we are given a cap of IGF, a quota of IGF to raise. We also get goods and services and all that. It's not an institution that is so resourced, but I think that attention must be paid to it. But all that is going on with e-commerce being the order of the day.
To Musa Saka head that institution.
But Annie, let's be very honest. I don't believe in the ideals of the NDC. I mean, definitely there will be people who will be more of colleagues in there. We can share ideas, we can share experience, but leading it, I mean, let's be very honest, as a matter of principle, is not ideal.
Why?
I mean, I campaign against what they're thinking of the NDC. We had a different approach to doing it.
That's taking the extreme partisan position that has to do with party ideologies and all. But when it comes to administrative activities like at the courier services, I mean, what has it so much got to do with?
There's no doubt. No,
party politics.
I mean, in terms of leading, the technical staff will be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a director for licensing and regulation. There are monitoring and standardization managers. There are other people in there. The core technical staff is there. But for someone who will lead it to direct the policy direction of the incoming administration, I don't think it's as a matter of principle. I don't think it's. I mean, you still have that old thing. Look at it. We have people vandalizing offices, sacking people from offices, which shouldn't be, you know. So you can imagine. You can imagine staying there. I mean, I've had a few people who, by virtue of experience, by virtue of being in public service, having to struggle just because they are identified with the other side. I mean, that's the reality. Trust will virtually be non-existent, you know. So to avoid some of these little things that will affect the effective and efficient running of our institutions and delivering on the mandate and making Ghana, putting institutions where they should be. I think some of these things we need to really look at. But the aspect of people vandalizing, going to lock up offices, sacking people from offices is something that we must all condemn, you know, on certain terms. And it beats me that for a party that campaigned on 133 in terms of their main policy that they campaigned with, the 24-hour economy, that shows that, I mean, there's going to be availability of jobs. It beats me that people in that party be fighting over jobs when you've already stated that you are going to do a 133, is it a formula or a formation for those of us who love football? I mean, when you hear these formations, it's usually in football and all that, but that was articulated strongly, and the good people of Ghana bought into it and gave them an overwhelming endorsement. So they should stop all these things. It doesn't augur well for democracy. It doesn't augur well for the continuity of government. It doesn't augur well for the good and well-being of this country. It must be discouraged and condemned, on certain terms.
I'll come back to you. on it. But let me introduce Shamima Muslim, who's just joined us in the studio. She is a member of the NDC.
I was at Joy FM.
Don't do that to me again. Don't do that to me again.
In fact, you see that thing that happens when a traffic light hits you for the first time. And then it's like all your ancestors have left you. At every traffic light, there was a stop.
Yeah. Somehow, that's how it happens. I'm always thinking about that. When the first one hits you, the rest will hit you.
It was serious.
And when the first one
I
hits
realize
you,
that when you leave a certain area, it changes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's true.
But that was
you're welcome.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you.
Again.
Oh, but I've been here while she was going on her litany of.
Yes, that's because you were late.
No, but I was standing here when she was talking.
But you were late, Shamima. That's the fact.
Sweetheart.
You were late. Shamima is being very
late.
Those who saw me, I was enjoying it. So good morning. Good morning, my darling. Good morning to Laura too. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You're looking bright for a person in opposition.
Really? Is that how you should
very
be?
bright, man.
Is that how
The opposition has not yet.
Look dry?
It hasn't entered you yet.
Shamima, when you were in opposition, I saw you.
I'm surprised.
When you were in opposition, I saw you.
What did you see?
You were glittering.
I'm surprised.
You didn't see me.
You were glittering.
Annie, you did not
see me. Is that how it's supposed to be?
Pictures, I personally took.
You did not see me. Where did you see me at, Annie?
Hey.
But you were in this studio.
Is that how government is?
No, I'm saying that I was. After this kind of loss, it hits you differently.
Why?
So within the first couple or months, you see the telltale signs. Loretta doesn't wear hers on her sleeve, so we may not see it on her face. But I'm sure if we put what the doctors used to hear heartbeats and those things, stethoscope.
Started your mystery
If we tried stethoscope, we'll see that the pulse is at a different level. Especially anytime the thought hits that, hey, we have lost.
Shamima, when you get into politics, there are things that you must avert your mind to. Prioritize your mental health.
Down there.
Right? And know that whatever contest you go in is 50-50.
Okay.
There's no draw in politics. So when you are planning, you plan for good and you plan for bad.
So you did right.
And that's how some of us live.
Well done.
We are not in politics to look bright. We are in politics to give hope to the people that we serve. It's public service. It's not an enjoyment spree.
Preach on. Thank you for the preach.
I'm hearing different things from the government and I'm hearing different things
from the
opposition.
Thank you for the preach.
She's still excited. Eyes will clear very soon.
Oh, see.
She's still very excited.
Did your eyes clear? Your eyes didn't seem clear even when the eminent lost. Annie, was her eyes cleared the last time she was on this your show? Her eyes never cleared.
Their eyes
didn't clear.
The last time I was on this show,
they were still in a comfortable lead.
The last time I was on this show was after election. It was on the 16th
your eyes were clear up to that point.
We had a conversation.
Anyway, good
You're
to see
still
you.
excited. Congratulations anyway.
Good to see you.
Because I know you're going to ask me to congratulate.
That's a very non-committal congratulations. It's not even coming from your heart. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
anyway.
Shamima.
That kind of
Congratulations.
Do it
and
with
I'm
sincerity.
Happy you've identified.
I mean,
we need more of us within the political space. There's a lot of work to be done in terms of women in leadership. And the numbers don't look good.
Let the women.
And a lot
for you guys especially. We did quite a bit. We are 31
years for increasing your numbers in Parliament.
I'm just so shocked that the women
too good. But there's a lot of work.
Is too bad.
But when you even look at it globally, the numbers are not.
There are recessions.
I mean, when you look at the data from International Parliamentary Union, we are still at 27% representation in.
So
Parliament.
let's get to work.
Women, yes.
Let's get to work. Let's form an
And
alliance.
Ghana is like we just peaked. And even if you look at it against 40 against 276, 40 against 275,
it's still around 15%, a little.
14
women representation is doing very well at
No, but Annie doesn't believe in those things, so we are not speaking. No, Annie doesn't believe in.
Congratulations, Annie, for taking over fully. It's a big seat.
It's too early.
I'm proud of you.
It's early days yet.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
But you're the face now. I think you've done brilliant. And I know you will do brilliant.
Sure,
with your support. I need your support. I need everybody's.
Oh, I've been supporting
And
you. Just like you haven't been supporting
And
me.
congratulations to Randy. Well done.
For running a show over
all.
20 years.
Well done.
Well done. Me and him will talk. Has he not done well?
He has done well.
So we'll see each other on the other side.
On the green side.
Very welcome. Well,
on the green side.
On the green side.
Let's start on the state of.
Other side.
I don't know if I should call it hooliganism or I should call it lawlessness. You know, that seems to have hit the country in the first days of the new administration. The MPP is calling for something, but I'll read their statement later. Let me go to Newmont. So something happened at Newmont, and you know, in the rumors and allegations, persons were leveling the allegations against the youth of the NDC, claiming that it was the NDC that carried out that act. So the story is in the Daily Statesman. Yes, the youth of the Kenyase in Totroso and Achirinsua in the Ahafo region are calling for a thorough investigation into the circumstances leading to the killing of 3 of their patriots by the police at Newmont Ahafo South Mine site. About 4 others sustained various degrees of injuries. The 3 persons were shot dead following a confrontation between the youth of the area and the police. They said altercation arose when some youth reportedly went to the tailing dam section of the mine, ostensibly to extract some leftover gold from the company's tailings or waste dam. This generated a heated argument between the youth and the police, who had been contracted by the Newmont to provide security at other place. In the process, the police opened fire at the irate youth, killing 3 instantly and injuring 4. The eyewitness, who narrated the incident to our correspondent on condition of anonymity, said that they went to the mine site to pick up some of the waste, but to their surprise, the security personnel pulled their guns on them. All 3 boys who were killed by the police officers guarding Newmont Ahafo South Mine are natives of the area, he said. As a result, tensions has been mounting between the people of Kenyase, Ntotroso, and Achirinsua on one side, the police and Newmont on the other side. The youth of these communities are demanding convincing explanation from the police and management of Newmont Ahafo Mine as a matter of agency. Calm has been restored anyway, and ACP Grace Ansar-Kofi, the Director of Public Affairs, dated January 9, 2025, confirmed the incident and said that calm had been restored in the area as the police has been engaging community leaders and youth in the bid to stabilize the situation. Now, I'll read this, but let me go to I'll go to Ejura now. And with Ejura, I'm sure you probably have an idea what happened in Ejura. But story captured on Metro TV online. I'm trying to open, so there's a little delay. Let's just hope that it opens as quickly as possible. There was also some mayhem or chaos in Ejura. And I'm sure some of the videos, we will have them on the screen as and when they're ready. But the Ghana Police Service has restored order in Ejura following a mob attack on the Ejura police station early this morning, January 11, 2025. The incident, which involved setting the station ablaze, was triggered by the death of a suspect in police custody. The suspect, who was arrested on January 10, 2025, around 10 p.m. on suspicion of theft, fell ill while in custody at approximately 2:20 a.m. Police promptly transported him to Ejura Government Hospital for medical attention. Unfortunately, the suspect passed away while receiving treatment. Tension escalates. News of the suspect death spread rapidly, inciting anger among the members of the community. Around 3 a.m., mob attacked the Ejura police station, setting it ablaze. Some individuals proceeded to the hospital, where they forcibly took the suspect's body So police response to the restoration of calm. It says that police officers engaged local opinions leaders and employed de-escalation tactics to restore calm. The military was later deployed to assist them in maintaining law and order in the area. No casualties have been reported, and the situation is now under control. The police spokesperson confirmed fire extinguished. So the Ghana National Fire Service responded swiftly to the incident and extinguished the fire at the police station. An assessment of damage is underway. And then the next step is that authorities have launched an investigation into both the cause of the suspect's death and the subsequent mob action. Measures also are being taken to ensure the safety of police personnel and facilities in Nigeria. Now, I saw a video this morning of, I wrote it down, one MPP office being attacked, allegedly by NDC. My question was, what has an MPP office got to do with you? But that's an allegation, so I won't run wild with it yet. I just want to get there. Okay, I can't find it. As and when I find it, I'll read it. But for now, let me read what the MPP is also saying as far as these attacks are concerned. MPP demands action against NDC hooliganism. Now, the New Patriotic Party has condemned recent acts of violence, vandalism, and intimidation alleged perpetrated by elements within the National Democratic Congress, describing the incident as threat to Ghana's peace and democracy. A press statement signed by and released by the party's General Secretary Justin Frimpong-Kodia called on the President John Dramani Mahama to show leadership by condemning the actions and taking immediate steps to restore order. These reckless and barbaric acts, which are creating unnecessary tension in the country, must not go unchecked. Let me pause here. I think I've given you a fair picture of what's happening. Most people I have in government state offices have been calling me, even over the weekend. They'll call you, Annie, the guys are here. And I wish guys, and sometimes they'll send you videos of some of these youth who seem to be visiting offices and demanding for, I don't know what they're demanding. I really don't know what they're demanding, unless we speak with these groups. But we've seen some at Ghana Gas, we've seen some at Cocoa Board, we've seen some at various offices, ports and harbors, we've seen some at NHIA. I mean, they're all over the place. So, Shamima, some of the incidences that I've read, you can say that probably are separate incidences, but they still have to do with law and order, violence, and and mayhem. What exactly is happening in your quarters? Have you had a chance, opportunity to speak about these happenings, and what is the way forward? What are we doing about it?
Right. Thank you very much, Annie. Good morning to you. Good morning to all our viewers. Good morning to Ghana, and good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I'm happy to be here today and to represent the NDC. Over the weekend, a number of significant things happened, starting from the historic inauguration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the historic swearing in of Ghana's first woman president, Professor Jane Nana Opoku Agyeman. A lot of speeches have since been, made, and some official engagements have happened at which our president has had cause to make some preliminary comments on some important matters of state. He started on Thursday at the 92nd Annual Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission in Pomadze, and on Friday he was at the National Mosque in the company of Sheikh Nuhu Sharibu, the National Chief Imam. After Jumma prayers, there was a sit-down, and of course, some speeches were also made. Sunday, that was yesterday, at the UPSA auditorium, there was a Christian national Thanksgiving service as well, at which many pastors preached and prayed for the family, prayed for the party, and prayed for the government, that we may be able to lead as expected and be able to deliver on the resounding mandates that the good people of Ghana have bequeathed to the NDC. I would like to say that whatever we do from henceforth must reflect the character of our leader, John Dramani Mahama. Yesterday, I was listening to Archbishop Duncan Williams, admonish the party or the government, especially persons that might find themselves privileged to serve in His Excellency government, in His Excellency John Dramani's government, to be mindful about some pitfalls, to be mindful about some of the mines, the landmines that were detonated, that led the New Patriotic Party to the colossal loss that they are yet to recover from. He reminded all of us about the character of John Dramani Mahama and his spouse. He reminded us about the love for country that he knows John Dramani Mahama has. He reminded us about the inherent abiding humility of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He reminded us about how over the years His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has never forgotten his roots. He gave an example of how every Christmas the entire family always commemorates the Christmas festivities in Bole, the hometown of, our president. And why that is important, because when you connect with your people, you don't forget who you are, you don't forget where you come from, and you are reminded every day of what you need to do with the privileges that you have, or the power that you wield, or the service you're expected to render upon the people of Ghana and your own people. I think that was a very poignant admonition that all of us must pay heed to. And it's not even the NDC alone. I think every Ghanaian political party representatives, as we all gear up to rebuild this country from where we find ourselves now, where we all agree that things have deteriorated to levels that require reset, restoration, improvement. We all must see ourselves as key stakeholders in this resetting process. So thank you to the clergy, thank you to the imams, thank you to everybody who prayed for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who prayed for this nation, and who prayed to God to give us the set of leaders that will mean well for our country. And luckily, that was answered, and we have His Excellency John Dramani Mahama at the helm of affairs. Reflecting upon the first couple of days in office and what His Excellency has spoken about, and the indications he's giving about how he intends to govern this nation and how he intends to keep his promise, I'd like to take our minds back to even the address he made to the public when, after the declaration of results, it was clear that the NDC had won. We did see the breakout of some violence. We saw the breakouts of warehouses, break into warehouses where people were making away with fertilizers and other things that had been hoarded into those, warehouses. And we heard His Excellency John Mahama, then President-elect, address the nation via the media, even though he was not yet the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, even though he was not yet the president and there was still a live president. He is the only leader who spoke out in condemnation of any illegal activity. We say so because at the time we even had cause to believe, because who was to say that these elements were NDC elements? Those who were making away with fertilizers from warehouses. We heard from reports that were disgruntled members of the New Patriotic Party who were angry at their MMDCs for keeping some of these fertilizers and other goodies and not distributing them ahead of the elections. So the message then was clear: desist from any illegal activity. Desist from any criminal activity because you assume or you say that your party has won. Because any real true member of the NDC that has just received such great news, such resounding victory, should not be in a hurry. Should not be in a hurry at all to foment any trouble, because to what end would we want to foment trouble when we are in pole position to take over the realms of governance? So it was quite suspicious, some of these actions and activities. If you come to some of the reported, as for the Newmont one, I don't think it's part of the political activity, because Newmont is an established, mining firm, and I think that it's an isolated matter which we need to isolate from the political activities. To the storming of public buildings, the NDC as a political party has spoken out in condemnation of that. Our candidate then, president-elect then and president now, has still cautioned all well-meaning members of NDC not to engage in such, because in such public institutions, there are ways and means. You can't go into a public office and insist to drive away workers. That is not right, and we shouldn't do that. The right things will be done at the right time. And as you have seen, we have truly hit the ground running. Statements have come from the Office of the Presidency, signed by the President Executive Secretary, Callistus Mahama, Doctor. MMDCs have been relieved of their positions. Just today, a statement has come out: all boards stand dissolved. So the work will be done according to how it's supposed to be done. CEOs will be going into all of that. So please, let no one, guided by feelings of anger against the New Patriotic Party and feelings of revenge, Annie. And I say these things because most of these sentiments are feelings of revenge. I sat in committee meetings with former appointees who shared harrowing experiences of how they were treated by the NPP administration years ago, from the Kufuor era to the Akufo-Addo era. And I'm going to take us back to 1966, after the first coup d'etat, and the politics, the adversarial politics of the time. And sometimes you don't want to draw attention, because sometimes you're like, when there is give and take, you want to find out, where did this thing even start from? Why did the tone of our politics become the way it has become? Why has the tone of our transitions become the way it has become? Who threw the first stone that triggered, feelings of retaliation? From 1966, after the first coup, we saw the decimation of everything in Nkrumah by the forebears of the New Patriotic Party. The adversarial politics then, if it is not us, then it cannot be anybody. Leave the military eras, come to 1992. 1992, the NDC won the election, not so. And so the NDC was in power, handed over peacefully in 2000, after the 2000 elections, transitioned Ghana peacefully in 2001 to President John Agyekum Kufuor. That was the beginning of the tone of transitions. Random seizures of vehicles from former appointees, throwing out former appointees from their, government bungalows and housing, withdrawal of courtesies to former presidents in that era. What happened after Kufuor handed over to President Evans Atta Mills, who declared that he was going to be a father for all? a declaration that hurt the NDC eventually, because it gave the MPP a certain feeling that they were truly superior and beyond any accountability. It was John Evans Atta Mills who allowed MMDCs to stay in power in the interest of, safe transition so that districts don't suffer, to stay in power until he made his appointments in the interest of the good, supreme interest of this nation. He made members of the opposition MPP, outgone government, stay in power for such long periods. He was not interested in what others were calling witch hunts. He truly wanted us to turn the leaf on a new era of politics, not because he wasn't aware of some of the excesses of the previous administration, of some of the wrongdoings of that previous administration. He just thought that we needed to re-engineer our politics onto a more productive, proactive, path of genuine, respectful disagreement. He turned the page on that.
Yeah. But obviously that was not sustained for long until the next administration took over.
Because why wasn't it sustained? I said that was the tone of the transition. Before John Mahama took over, under the unfortunate circumstances, and we won that election. So there was no transition. It was a government in power handing over. So we didn't have these elements until NDC handed over to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The embarrassment started from day one with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama himself. The open denial of his request for rights that were due his.
So is it
like? Let me just finish this narration. Unless or you want to?
You finish it, because I wanted to ask if this is a justification of,
if you are hearing
if you catalog the history right from the Nkrumah days, 66 till now.
Yes.
I haven't seen the point where NDC as a party carried out these acts until now.
Well, I'm happy you are making that conclusion. Until now? What do you mean until now?
Until now, because they are doing it now.
Please. So let me, that is why I'm giving you this narration that I'm giving to you.
Yes, because I'm looking at the cataloging of
what 2008. You don't forget, if you don't allow me to just follow through my, because there was a 92 government that handed over to Kufuor. Kufuor started the tone of transitions.
Yes.
The negative tone of transitions. The adversarial politics, where opposition sees nothing right with a government in power. Adversarial politics, where an opposition party that comes into power declares the entirety of the previous administration as a criminal enterprise that did no good, no right for the people of Ghana, that recognizes no impact that the previous administration had. That adversarial tone started after Kufuor came into power, because NDC was military transitioned into itself. So the NDC couldn't have been the adversary in its own administration. The tone of that adversity. And 2001, they came into power and gave us the blueprint of how transition should be done. It was because of these elements that then IEA proposed the presidential transition bill later on. When Akufo-Addo came, I said that the embarrassment started from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama denying him of his rights as a former president when he made a request of his choice of residence and office, which he had to issue a letter to withdraw that request because of the embarrassment that he had been meted out to. I'm saying that I was a part of the transition team subcommittee. Former appointees shared harrowing experiences of how, after Akufo-Addo came to power, they were treated like criminals even before any wrong would be found against. Did you see us do similar things in our transition period? Come out and brief. You think we haven't found things? We wanted to do the right things. At every stage, they were briefing the media, inciting the public against the previous administration, making unjustified claims. Because, you see, the process as I found it, people will give you handing over notes. When you read the handing over notes, you would have questions and queries. They would come to the public with their questions and queries even before they granted the persons involved the right
a hearing or
to respond to the queries and provide further information. Truly, it is because John Dramani Mahamad's transition, the character of it has been completely different. That is why you haven't heard these kinds of anglings and sentiments. Does it mean that we will not hold people accountable? We will. But I'm saying that this man believes completely in the rule of law. And so anybody who is acting this way, saying that they are acting on behalf of His Excellency, they are not. If they are real members of the NDC, because you and I cannot say.
But action must be taken.
Sweetheart, action will be taken.
So,
the Ghana Police Service has been instructed to do its work. And I'm saying that real members of the NDC have been told to desist from illegal activity, bordering on criminality, because if the law takes you on, the law will take you on. What I don't want to hear, however, it is high moral grandstanding from the New Patriotic Party that has set this tone for transitions, that has done it to people in the past, that has embarrassed former presidents.
Why don't you want to hear?
Kufuor withdrew courtesies to Jerry John Rawlings. Akufo-Addo withdrew similar courtesies to John Dramani Mahama. So if John decides to withdraw such courtesies, where do we go? Do we build as a nation? So I am just saying that it does not lie in the mouths of the New Patriotic Party communicators who want to sit on a moral high horse and begin to call on President John Dramani Mahama to act and call his hooligans. His hooligans, maybe they are MPP infiltrated gangs, because this is what they do. This has been what they have taught us about the nature of their adversarial politics. So the principle, as I have communicated this morning, is let no right-thinking member of the NDC take the law into their hands. That is why we have oral. That is why we have set up that office. If you have any information of anybody who is where they shouldn't be, provide that information to the right quarters and trust that action will be taken, as action has already begun taking. We will take action through the rule of law and ensure that anybody who has done wrong by this nation will be held accountable. But let not the New Patriotic Party communicators come and sit on a moral high horse and try to call into question the commitment of His Excellency to engineer a peaceful country that works to the interest of all Ghanaians. And I love the support he has received from our religious leaders as he went back to give unto Caesar what was due Caesar. It was beautiful seeing the pastors yesterday lay their hands on this man. It was beautiful seeing the pastors bear testimony to the kind of human he is and pray upon him and upon all of us that let's actually give a new character. That is what we should be encouraging. The positive signs is what we should be, highlighting.
That's what most of us expected, which we didn't expect, all these activities of youth trying to go into office. Sometimes
you should expect.
Sometimes it just happens that the leadership might. Yes, well, sometimes the leadership.
Should expect it because it was done to them. So it is the leader who is now speaking to his people that, hold on, we will do the right thing. Such leadership was absent in some not too distant future. In fact, such leadership was mute when its own goons and hooligans besieged the office of a Kumasi officer, took him forcibly out of his office, dragged him through the streets. Such voices were absent when Delta Force Mafia besieged a court of competent jurisdiction to forcibly release an attack, the judge had to run.
A pregnant woman for that matter.
Pregnant woman had to run into her chambers. Have they soon forgotten that
they've
done
they
these
haven't,
things?
But you're not justifying.
How can I be justifying? How can I be justifying? Have you heard any justification? I am educating the public to know that, you see, when you hit somebody, the person feels like they should hit you back. It is not John Dramani Mahama who has incited people to go and do this. It is not him.
No, but Shamima, but you should understand that the victory of John Dramani Mahama gives a certain people entitlement, which they will not come to explain to you that this is the power we feel.
Is that not what I have explained to you? What the NDC has done, and the fact that we are suspicious that those who still insist to do things, to do some of these illegalities, are real members of the party, and that we have what is even greater than calling upon the Ghana Police Service to ensure they protect these institutions and arrest anybody who is found culpable. Let the NPP show us similar instances that they have done that. I am not engaging in an exercise of justification, but I'm saying that on this matter, we will listen to reasonable voices and we would respond to those reasonable voices. The voices we may not listen to are those that are responsible for the tone of this adversarial politics.
Right. Laratu, let me come to you.
Annie, it's quite interesting. Shamima has to go on the tangent that she's going. I mean, she claims she's not justifying, but obviously discerning people are listening to us. Probably if I had said this, or any of government communicators or spokespersons have said the things that she said, probably would have been called arrogant or insensitive. But that is what it is. My sister went as far as 1960. She and I were not there then. Let's come. Look, vandalism, all these things that are going on was wrong yesterday and are wrong today. But just to bring my sister back to what she's saying about you hitting someone and someone trying to hit you. In 2009, President Kufuor was asked to go to Kumasi and stay there after his tenure. By who? By the administration that took over in 2009. We had youth in, you can Google President Kufuor's office and you see a lot of stories. There were even captions like, President Kufuor finally thrown out because he wanted to use a particular office around the Ridge enclave as an office. There were demonstrations, there were things that were said that came, but it was wrong then. It is wrong today. I won't go to 2010. There was seizure of toilets, toll booths, and all those things in 2009. It was wrong then. It is wrong today. Whatever the New Patriotic Party did when we took power was wrong then, and it will be wrong today if anybody does it. And that is what we must all avert our minds to. We can go to pre-independence era and even talk about some of these things if we want to. We can go to before democracy and talk about these things. I won't go as far back as 1960. Honey, we came to constitutional rule in 1992. It's been how many years now? The two leading political parties in this country have both served 16 years. The New Patriotic Party, through President Kufuor, did 2001 to 2009. Late Professor Mills and from President Rawlings, the 1992 to 2000, or 1993 to 2001. President Kufuor did from 2001 to 2009. Professor Mills and the current president did 2009 to 2013. 2017. President Akufo-Addo did 2017 to 2025. There's a new administration. For how long will we be going back and forth with these things? Will it end if we continue like this? Do we have to end it? It has to be ended. 16 years, we can't keep going at each other. And all that is happening now is just contrary to the speech, that the inaugural speech of the current president. My sister can talk about people being done, but you see, those of us in the political class need to know that the conversations we have behind the scenes are the outcomes of some of these things. My sister here is talking about people sitting on committees to tell their story of how they were treated. So same should be done. Were they happy when
she didn't
it was?
say that.
No, I'm just asking a question. People said it. So same should be done. Were they happy when it was done to them? Look, we are a people, and we are so closely connected that sometimes when you do some of these things, it ends up with us being affected anyway. We have been the beacon of democracy and hope in Africa for the longest time. Power was handed over peacefully in 2000. I remember one of the conversations President Kufuor was having with late President Rawlings, that he remembers during when they were going through the transition. One of the conversations they had when they were having during the campaign season, President Kufuor was told if he wants the presidential chair, he should go to Angloga for one to be carved out for him. That is the kind of relationship we've seen our presidents have. You heard President Mahama talking about his relationship with President Kufuor. You heard how he reiterated the point that if former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia hadn't conceded at the time that he did, would have plunged the country into chaos.
You get obviously don't
so
transcend
we are making,
to the youth that is leading.
That is why I'm saying that the conversation we in the forefront have behind the scenes, as compared to the conversations we have openly, is something that we all need to check.
Because, well, I don't know what viewers think. Because honestly, when I sit back and I watch how youth decide to march into public
at their own risk
institutions,
at their own
demanding people to walk out, or
look
step
at these
out, or
youth
step down, or give up.
That went to the mining place. They are dead. It may be the loss of their family, but you don't know what they would have turned out to be. It's a loss to the nation too.
Stories that
it's a loss to the human resource capacity of this country.
As Shamima said, there may be isolated cases, but I also think that when you find youth conveniently doing things in a full glare of everybody against the law, others elsewhere will think that it's okay.
Annie, when you are going into a contest, or when you are going to do something, will you, let's even use you hosting the show. If you don't feel confident that you have support from your superiors and your team members, will you come and sit here with confidence to do what you're doing? That is what we should be talking about. Where are the youth getting that confidence to perpetrate the crimes that they are perpetrating? Because they know that when they are caught, or when push comes to shove, they'll get someone to get them out. It may not be the case. But you always go out confident based on the backing that you have. And that is what those of us in the political class must learn.
But that's very reflective on you.
Well,
that's very reflective on you, on your government, on your previous administration, on the government we just saw.
What is reflective on us?
Gone by. The violent acts carried out by some youth persons. She mentioned some of them. If you say that, you know,
Honey, that's all.
They do some of the things,
examples,
it means that
we can mention and cite examples till the end of this show. None of us is clean. We're all guilty of those things. But where does it stop? After 32 years. Where should it stop? That is the conversation we should be having. There's no... Honey, look, let me tell you...
when they are in power.
Let me tell you...
But they're always preaching to
That's why I
others
say that
to
those
stop
of us
it
in the
when
political
they are in
class
opposition.
should be careful. Today, you may think that they are attacking public servants and all that. Look, just after the election, I had a friend who lives around the Roman Ridge, where a lot of public servants live. He had to take someone to give a warning shot to disperse the crowd until the police and the military came there. That bullet could have hit anybody. Is that what we want? Look, from 1992 till date, I think apart from 1992, that we had a turnout, and obviously we're now changing to constitutional rule and all uncertainties and all that, that we had a little over 50% voter turnout. Right. 2000, we had a little over, almost 62% or so voter turnout. This year, what are we looking at? 63%. 63 or a little over 63%. What is that telling you? The average Ghanaian is losing confidence in the political class. Even when you look at it percentage-wise, it's not so alarming. But every election, we have an average of 4 million people since 1992 who don't come out to vote. This year it was what? Almost 7 million. And that is what we all must avert our minds to. You even come to the gender side of it. Just as women are coming in, we are stagnating with our numbers because more women are leaving because of the nature of the politics we are playing. So we are talking about gender, we are talking about Women Manifesto, we are talking about affirmative action, we are talking about all these good policies. But people can't stay. There are people that you know will do great if they decide to join any of the sites, but won't because of this. Where does it stop? That is the conversation we should be having. As for citing example, as for one hitting the other, as for telling stories, even those of us who were not politically aware, who have never seen experienced coups, we are told stories by our mothers and fathers and people ahead of us. The 1960s, the 1970s that we talk about, we read about them. Those are from the point of the thing. We can talk about what we also saw. Generations after us will refer to those things from our perspective. But where do we stop these things? Where do we get our presidents' inaugural speeches to reflect the collective nature of all of us coming together?
Or maybe the personality who is
You
leading
get
the
it.
whole pack.
Where do we get it? You listen to the inaugural speech. Is that what we're seeing? Obviously,
Well, you didn't
no.
find anything interesting in President Mahama's
Come again.
inaugural speech?
No, what I'm saying is the inaugural speech, and it's been like that. Fantastic, calling everybody
But this
to come
particular
together
one,
and
this-
let's work.
This recent
You are speaking
inaugural
as if there's
speech
some excessive
by the former president
lawlessness.
was very unifying.
Oh, but
There are
Shamima,
pockets- there are pockets
people
of
are burning
lawlessness.
police stations.
No, I'm
There are
saying
pockets.
that
People are burning police
hold
stations.
on.
People are going into institutions and sacking people and locking them up.
The point I'm making is that
that is not excessive.
I said that it is not a widespread
People
issue.
are donned in
Look at how you've opened
close
your
to
eyes.
military
Were you
and
opening
police
your eyes that
attire,
way?
holding rifles and guns.
Did you open your eyes that way?
And you are not alarmed?
When they were misbehaving under your government. That's my problem.
Shamima,
you see, you're
Shamima,
preaching. You're
you
preaching
can
in
go
opposition,
back.
but you never
can
preach
go
in
back,
government.
You can go back
So
and play
why
my
didn't
tapes
you,
when it
it's
comes
not
to
about
these
your
things.
faith.
If I've ever
you didn't expect your
justified any
leaders-
of those things.
You didn't expect
You
your
get it?
leaders to be of good
When did
behavior?
No, but what I want to say, you're not even allowing me. The point I'm making is that pick former president's inaugural speech, previous inaugural speech by Nanado, yeah, and pick this current inaugural speech by President Mahama and compare the two. I honestly would say President Mahama's inaugural speech sounded very unifying, that anybody who is listening, it will win some hearts, that everybody who wants to join a violence organization or some sort of activity will probably fall off. If you listen to former President Nanado, he's always been very attacking, always on the attack. And you know that's true.
Today is what?
13th of January.
13th of January. Who is the President of the Republic of Ghana?
Okay, that answers the question.
Who is the President of the Republic of Ghana? Look, I have said on other, we are governed by rules, by laws in this country. You may not like the leadership style of a leader, right? But when some of these things are happening,
okay,
it wasn't right yesterday. It is not right today, especially when you are saying that it was very unifying. Where is the unity in burning police stations? Where is the unity in sacking public servants?
Burning of police station was an isolated case.
Well,
of
it's
an
happening.
act by the police.
It has happened, right? Municipal assemblies, was it Ejura South or so?
Yeah, the Ejura story.
Vandalized.
Yes, but the Ejura story,
Warehouses
what I'm saying is that
were
someone,
vandalized.
we're told that
You
someone
get it?
was
arrested and died.
One thing we also...
Someone
make it
died
clear.
in police
Someone was
custody and the
arrested
youth got
for
angry.
buying a stolen phone. And the person, somewhat died in the police custody. So the youth got angry with the police, hence...
Where is the politics in it?
Should our anger...
No, but where is the politics in it?
It is wrong. If I've seen a story citing the MP for the area asking for an autopsy. Annie, it's unfortunate that should happen, right? But do you get angry in trying to seek what happened? It shouldn't happen to anybody. And condolences to the family. This is not something that should... And I get worried when these things happen to young people. Because you don't even know what the person is going to add up to nation building. Nobody can really tell what anybody will end up to be. So these things are not things that we should encourage. But in the anger of asking, do we have to be angry enough to go and burn a police station that was built with our own money? That the money that can be used for another thing now has to be redirected into building the police. That is how we should be looking at some of these things.
Yeah. Okay.
That is in no way justifying what has been done. And whatever happened to the person, the autopsy, whatever happened, should be laid bare. And the police must do
so
that.
The thing is, whether you like it or not,
and the police,
once you are in office, the youth's behavior reflects of you. How they think before I carry out an act is always premeditated when they do this, except for maybe the irate youth in Ejura, maybe out of anger, they decided to just go irate. But they know, if they know that when I do this, this is what I'm likely to face, they'll be restrained.
So, yes.
Annie, let me just finish up. Let me just finish up. In terms of these, all these things that are happening, you talk about unity and all that. One thing we must also know is that apart from the political appointees, there are public servants and civil servants in these institutions who have nothing to do with it. You may have seen them do whatever they want to do. You may have your own opinion about them. But civil servants sit at the policy level to help every incoming government and serve the government loyally. That is, they sit at the policy level. At the public service level, they also, mostly the agencies, do the implementation and all those things. Right. So we need to understand some of these things. You may not be happy with a political appointee, but you don't divert that anger on public and civil servants. There was last week, CLOSAC was threatening strike. These are the people that are going to anchor the policies you've espoused during campaign. The 133 that you want to do it. So I think that these things, and I don't also think, my sister was saying that the police has been instructed to take action. I don't think the police has to be instructed to take action. That is the responsibility of the police. We've had conversations that what has the vice president said, what has the president said. The police has a mandate to protect citizens and property. They don't need to be instructed to take charge of some of these things. Okay. And I think we need to get away from some of these things.
Laura reprobates and approbates us and when it's used the narrative. Laura is the same person who just said a few moments ago that what was in the president's inaugural speech, that what was in his inaugural speech seems to be different from what is playing out, that they preach, the president said things that are not happening. Is the president the police? Is the president the IGP? So I'm saying that leadership matters. You see, I just want to wrap up again by reminding all of us again here that Loreto conveniently starts giving examples from 2009 after the NDC lost elections. But the main point I was making is that who set this tone for the adversarial politics that we today all concede we must move away from? There has been no justifications, and I'm saying that we must be able to give examples of how our leaders have shown commitment to turning over a new leaf. And I would want her to give me examples in similar terms. I gave examples of what the late President, Professor Evans Atta Mills, did as a way of moving this country away from, the very deep, negatively, viciously partisan, stature. What did they do? I gave examples of how His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, when he took over, tried to. You see, that's what they do. They always quickly go and pass laws that they show no commitment. No, I'm sorry. I'm giving you examples. Just like you
does the Vigilante Act ring a bell?
And when your women wanted to be running mates, you didn't give them. Well, just as you have passed a right to information bill, and the right to information commission is still under resourced. I'm saying that they do pass laws, but often they don't show real commitment. President John Dramani Mahama in opposition was already doing affirmative action. Because of that, today NDC has 31 women MPs in Parliament. Because of that real commitment, not only by word, but by deed. Today we have Ghana's first woman vice president, Professor Nana James. And I'm saying that these leaders, they speak when something is wrong. Akufo-Addo, the former President Akufo-Addo still has not had any word of condemnation to make of anybody in his government, never. John Dramani Mahama, in turning over a new leaf to this country and trying to consolidate our democracy and to build institutions because he believed in institutions, was able to ensure and allow the prosecution of members of his government who were singled out for wrongdoing. What did the former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, do? Clearing agents is what was his tag. The leadership is so different, and there are poignant moments in our history that show the difference between the NDC as an egalitarian social democratic party that truly is more nation-building inclined than the NPP that has been quite insular in its governance of the country. That is the difference that I'm trying to make. And you see what? They preach a lot when they are in opposition. They preach quite a lot when they are in opposition and never when they're in government.
Okay.
When they're in opposition, they act like they are victims. And
So
even in
Helga-
opposition, they are often the aggressors.
So Helga says that this is what upsets me. Has the Ghana Police Service been disbanded? Are they not in position to do their work? Come on. Why is the NPP crying wolf? All the violence they unleashed in 2017 should be investigated right about now.
Forgot that.
You
Under
say.
Akufo-Addo, electoral violence has led to deaths.
Okay. Chuwafo says that. Good morning.
And
Nana Bia, do we
violence.
remember
I am also war
the roving
the
gangs
police
of
has
the
been asked
NPP
to
by the
investigate
Abonye 8 years ago,
hope they come
moving
through.
from house to house, office to office, seizing people's cars and properties under the guise of protecting public property? When Abonye seized John Domelo's private vehicle and claimed he had deposited it at the office of the senior minister, what did those with responsibility to act do, or to the act do? Did you hear what Freddie Blaze said? What about what the roving gangs were doing in 2017? He said they were protecting public property. Just let's stop being disingenuous. At least President Mahama has addressed the matter forcefully, asked Madame Lara, to formerly of Wesley Girls, what Akufo-Addo said about those dastardly acts then. Like most of the MPP and their assigns, Madame Loratu's morality disappears as soon as they win power. Okay, Chumbafo, you said that.
Elections. Can I just wrap up? More loss of Loratu. Let me just wrap up. Sorry. In 2024, we've reported about 4 loss of lives.
Yeah.
Why does it always happen that people die when MPP is in government during election period? Why does it always happen like that? Let's think about it. And as I wrap up, once again, I would like to reiterate the commitment of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to build the Ghana we all want to live in together. A Ghana where our institutions work. A Ghana where our institutions are cloaked with their powers to be independent. A Ghana where there is real freedom of expression. A Ghana where wrapping up. And this Ghana can only be built if we reflect this character of our leaders. So if there are any real well-meaning NDC members who are participating in some of these illegalities and giving the NPP too early in the day some fodder for them to come and preach where they themselves have failed, please, let's desist. Let's trust that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will build this country and ensure that anybody who has questions to answer will answer. President Dramani Mahama will never turn his back to the rank and file of the NDC.
Okay. I actually
what is
needed
rightly
one
theirs,
of you to
they
speak
will
to this
get.
issue the way you've just done.
Yes.
So that's
many
great.
of us have spoken to it the way I have done.
So hello, Annie. Good morning.
The NPP
Today,
never
the NPP
hears. They won't hear too.
Okay. Today, the NPP communicators have the audacity to sit down and say things that they are saying. Have you forgotten what they did and how they brought this country to the lowest point? I say, if I were the president, I would serve them the food they served us. No, if not worse. So they should just leave the government they should just learn how to govern and handle a country. Carlos from Odododio centers in Anit. Thumbs up. Okay, I won't read the rest, but please tell Ejapa. Tell Ejapa that he should not speak about the fact that the president is committed to fight Galamsey, because recently a medical doctor stood on the campaign platform and said that they will not stop Galamsey. What is the president's position on that? The guy is working around freely, you say. This work in vice president office, the message is not clear, but I get it on Galamsey. I haven't really touched on Galamsey yet. Maybe subsequently within the week we'll go there. From Mystic Wonder inside Nsoma Review says, good morning, Annie. The experience tried and tested John Mahama is on course. To reduce the reduction of ministries from 30 to 23 is a great one. And I have no doubt in my mind that John Mahama will perform, deliver, and leave legacy. My regards to Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, you say, and some of Fusampofu. Gaji, I see you. Good morning to you and all the team watching us. I don't know who you are with, but good morning to you. Nana Akufo-Addo statue has been vandalized, and this is coming from Sampiale. So Akufo-Addo statue in Efia Kwanta Hospital roundabout removed. In fact, seeing this woman justifying everything, I won't use the word, it's not good enough. The government, she never saw anything wrong with the Ayawaso West Wagon murder. Yeah, and that was murder in Ayawaso West Wagon.
Was electoral violence.
Yes,
and
but that was murder.
Chiman was murdered.
Completely. I mean, like, target to kill. Today, she's playing victim. You say, enough of the political masquerading. Well, she's not. She says that she's asking when it will end. Good morning, Annie. Although I condemn the certain activities of our party supporters, but I am very astonished hearing Larati's submission on the subject. Annie Kojo-Chumbafo and the CEO of the Rich Hospital were chased out of their post as CEOs and many other unlawful attacks on our NDC members. Where were Laratu and the rest then? Triddles, you are the one asking. I am one person that doesn't like so much references, just because
sometimes you're forced
to.
But we need to move
we in the
forward.
media, we captured it. So we have it on record.
Forward.
We have all those on record. But once it falls under your government, you are obliged to address it.
Yes.
Whether it happened or it
and we
didn't.
want to truly build a new country.
Exactly. That's what we are looking for. Good morning, Annie. How and why do we still even have MPP communicators? You say, Chai, you didn't add your name. Please.
It's a democracy.
It's a democracy.
So,
thank you.
Of course.
You cannot. What? You want to gag them?
No, they can't be gagged. We are not them. They will never be gagged.
No,
they
will
will always be allowed.
Please, let me just take a quick breather. When I come back, we'll touch on the new list of ministries that's come out and those that have been removed. And the challenges faced by the administration. We have the education sector. We have the power sector. Two critical sectors that greeted John Mahama when he was sworn into office. We'll be back shortly.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry. Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. He purchased in my room.
Oh.
You've been giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN Rewards, Talk, text, browse, and more, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Mama didn't tell me anything. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'm gonna call my mom. I'll call my grandma. And I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN.
Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don't some slippers then follow me.
It is by the mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
That be the mattress where the dead for time.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all.
Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like ash foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
great music, excellent service, great company, and meat galore. The Alisa Friday Barbecue. It's fun on Fridays at Alisa.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and Aerocop brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the Aerocop with cocoa blend, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and Aerocop organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of the serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Join in the celebration by becoming an Estate Master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
Very soon, is my mic on? Okay, very soon what we're going to be doing is we will put the behind the scenes on air. It seems to be more interesting.
Behind the scenes is our safe space. We don't want our safe space on air.
You're welcome back.
Once she said it, Annie can do it.
She will do it one day.
She can do it.
No, well, there are safe elements within the safe space to share.
The way things are running now.
Laratu knows me.
And mischief is on another level.
And the innocence with it.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
See, that's what makes it more lethal.
I'm telling you. She just be smiling.
It's okay, guys. Spare me. I beg you. I beg you. It's okay. Just spare me. Everybody knows I'm very innocent. And that's it. And that's all they know. Okay, so So, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, yesterday he did his Thanksgiving, led a service of, a national Thanksgiving service. I actually don't know why the national Thanksgiving service was held at the UPSA. Why there? I thought it was too much of a small space.
Oh.
They should have gone to.
It was full.
Yeah, that you wanted to see.
It was manageable. No, you're thinking that it's too small.
Yes, because if a lot of people really wanted to attend, that space was too small.
Ultimately, it went well, didn't it?
Well, it did, but I wish it had been done at the Independence Square.
We've done several other Thanksgiving services, so this was really like to crown it all after the official inauguration.
Selection.
There's been several Thanksgiving services. After the election, we held some.
Yes.
Yes. So
this
one was like to consecrate.
You did them on regional levels.
So those are SFs you have on your screen.
Everybody did their own thing. Even individuals have done Thanksgiving. MPs have done their Thanksgiving service.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually. I've seen
this
some of the
one
MPs.
was...
We are a very special lot, We fear God.
This one was a national Thanksgiving service.
Oh, okay.
Alright, we fear God, pa.
National.
Yes.
Okay.
She's very mischievous. Why are you even engaging her? I don't even know. She was not there. What would she be doing there?
Why wouldn't she be there?
She will not
It's
come.
a national Thanksgiving service. We've had a safe elections.
Yes. You said it was national. So that's fine. It's good to know.
Annie, let's go on.
The executive instrument was out, Civil Service Ministries Instruments 2025, and in exercise of power conferred on the President under the Section 11 Clause 3 of the Civil Service Act 1993 PNDC L327. In the instrument, this instrument is made 9th day of January 2025. Ministries of Civil Service, Ministries of the Civil Service. The following ministries of the civil service are hereby established. So we have the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Education. I wish we have it on the screen. Ministry of Education, okay. Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. All right, please take notes of the new ministries and the new formative names. Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, Ministry of Roads and Highways, Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Sports and Recreation. Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, that stays same. Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, same. Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. That's changed a bit. It's a little tweak. Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. It used to be the Chieftaincy Ministry alone, right? And then the local government.
Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
Yes, and then Religious Affairs. So Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation. All right, that's also a little new, something tweak the name. Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, same. Ministry of Youth, Employment and Empowerment, Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. Ministry of Works and Housing and Water Resources, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Ministry of Labor, Jobs and Employment, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture, and Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. We also had the revocation. The revocation captured the civil service, that's Ministries, Instruments 2021, EI-12 is hereby revoked. So we don't have anything as the Civil Service Ministry. Or the Ministry of Civil Service 2021 EI-12, it has been revoked. So, well, the Civil Service into brackets Ministries Instruments.
No,
it was 2021. No. Oh, okay.
When did we ever have that?
Okay, pardon me. So 2021 EI-12 is hereby revoked. Now, there's been a bit of some analysis to the decision. Bryce Simmons writes, Mahama's decision to slash the number of government ministries from 30 to 23, describing it as more about optics and actual efficiency. According to him, cutting down the number of ministries and ministers is an exercise in reading the sentiments of the public and being responsive, and not about lean and efficient government reforms. In a post on X, Bryce Simmons explained that Ghanaians generally perceived a bloated government was wasteful, and therefore any reduction tends to resonate positively with the public, and questioned whether the downsizing will lead to significant financial savings, arguing that ministries account for only a small portion of government expenditures. And he said, to actually move in direction of government efficiency, you must ask whether the thousands of workers in the collapsed ministries will leave their government payroll or will simply be redistributed. How come we never touch the actual agencies where 98% of public workers and government businesses reside? Also take note that there's a notification that's just come in dissolving boards, and it reads, where's my board statement? So it says that notice of cessation of board members of statutory boards, corporation, commissions, and councils following president's transition in accordance with the Presidential Act, that's the Transition Act 2012, Act 845. All members, statutory boards, corporation, commissions, and councils appointed by the former president of the former Minister of State ceased to hold office on 7th of January 2025 following the assumption of the office of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. This serves as a formal notice to all affected members. For the avoidance of doubt, this includes commissions that are independent constitutional creation. I know about a commission that has one of his bosses wishing that he could work with former president. I can't put his name out, with the current president. Yes.
Public servant.
Yes.
Yeah, public servant or a political appointee.
A political appointment office.
He's wishing that he will stay on.
He wishes to work with the president. I do not know.
Unless I ask good reason, yeah.
Further questions. If I give further reasons on this platform now.
But why mention it when you can't give details?
Why do you want to know the details? I just
why mention it?
Why? I am at liberty to mention whatever I want to mention.
There are lots of commissions. Now everybody will be thinking
it's
a suspect. That's not fair.
Yeah, there should be.
No,
why?
But that's
what's wrong with being a suspect? You are just a suspect. You are not a criminal.
There's someone who wants to work with it.
Yes, there's someone who wants to work with the current
not
person.
A public
but I'm not
servant.
going to put
the
his
person
name
out.
I'm not going to put
the person is a political appointee.
Why
the person has asked you to lobby for them?
For them. Can you lobby for Laura too?
At the
Laura, I can lobby for you.
Sharima, please don't go there.
Sharima.
You know me too well. Don't go there.
We want that.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Laura, have you stopped going to the office?
Don't go there. I haven't stopped.
But you are a civil.
I haven't stopped going to the office.
But she's a civil servant.
Right. Okay.
I'm still going to the office.
Is that a political appointment?
I resign.
You resign as a matter of principle.
I resign. No,
don't resign.
Oh, I will.
No, but yes, I heard you. But I disagree. I don't know what you mean
by. You disagree with me.
You said something like you don't
believe in
their ideology.
Sure.
Did you say ideology?
Shamima, yes. It's not well, probably in the context of it. We went to a contest.
So I think that's
you had a different approach to it based on what you believe in.
Yes.
Based on the ideology your party is built on. We had a different approach based on
that's
what
why I was making the point. That's why I was making the point that the political environment was not too aligned to the work you're doing at the Postal Career Services. The political.
Okay, well, let's leave Laura and come to our
political
work.
What?
The political campaigns that we're having were not too aligned to your work you're doing at the Postal Career Services.
The work I was doing out there. Do you understand?
At the Postal Career Services, why you were doing politics there? Why are you doing politics there?
Oh, of course, you can't do politics
exactly my
in
point.
a public service institution.
Anyway,
it's not even right.
Okay, so she was a spokesperson whilst working in the public.
Yes, actually,
she was.
Public servants can do politics.
But you were openly
public servants. Public servants can do.
They can do open politics.
Yeah, but
did you see me contesting?
You didn't contest.
In no way did her work ever come in whenever we're having political.
Another government, you would have been sacked. If like you, so for example, you will not.
I'm
just saying that. Do you get what I mean?
If we were to be what?
For example, there were known members of NDC Guys, so some guy, I also mentioned the institution he worked with.
Why wouldn't you?
Somebody saw him in public, and one of these bloggers, so he shared his opinion about how things are bad. The next minute, his boss was asked to sack him.
What institution was that?
Name. I'll tell you.
I don't work in a very...
And there are those ones.
Probably because...
So anybody who was any NDC, even they say didn't get yes, son.
No, but...
They shared that story.
Shamima,
so if you dare show your face that way, they will sack you. But we
why,
haven't sacked you yet, even though you have shown your face. You are still at your post.
Why are people going to Cocoa Tor, Boston, and all that? Even the premises my office is housed.
To look for you.
They're even threatening to sack us. So who want to?
Maybe they took the blueprint from you guys.
What blue? All
right.
No, not sack in terms of people sacking.
Let's spend the rest of the time. Okay, I don't have a lot of time, but let's spend the rest on the...
Probably on a lighter note, because there's nothing there.
On the 14th, the President Mahama has started.
Coming there.
Today, is it today? We're expecting the minister,
today.
The vetted, the nominees to be vetted. Okay, so we'll be following through and bringing the updates. But this is how far you've come, Shamima. This is how far you've come. You've been greeted with things of education, very serious matters. You've been greeted with power issues, very serious matters. It was just yesterday I spoke with one energy expert, who revealed to me that the administration actually had no reserve margin left for you. And then in my mind, I was thinking, in fact, I was supposed to speak to him today. I couldn't.
In reserves.
Yes. I could not speak to him today because I didn't have a lot of time, but maybe I'll do that subsequently. But I was thinking, what was happening at the transition stage? Did you not, take note of some of these things? Were they not spelled out in the transition documents that were handed over? This is where we are in terms of energy.
I think today John Jinapor will be addressing all those matters. I wasn't in the energy subsector, so I can't speak to the specifics, but I know that a lot of things came up, and so we were very aware. In fact, it is not even just during the transition period. Ahead of the election, you heard it, we were aware that we were going to have a power crisis at hand because, the NPP had managed to rack up a lot of debts in the power sector. They owed a lot of independent power producers in the tune of billions of dollars, actually. And so we knew that there was going to be a power crisis, and many energy experts had also spoken about, the unsustainable way in which we were managing the power sector. So it was not a surprise at all when we finally sat around and from the reports that came from members close to the committee, the figures are truly, staggering. But the immediacy of the problem of an imminent blackout is what really caused the president to call an emergency meeting. As you immediately, his first day of work, he instructed the chief of staff, Julius Debra, to convene all stakeholders in the,
I think you set up a mini committee.
Yes. So they came to tell the real stories that they would not have told, which is always some of the challenge some of us have, because of some of these institutions will never speak during, whilst in the government, that especially in the last year when we kept calling even IPPs. I particularly said that, speak out, let us understand the nature. Many kept quiet because they feared further victimization should they speak about the real, state of affairs. Why that was important is that we shouldn't be allowing some of these important matters to be coming out from the mouths of politicians, because very quickly somebody will make political capital and say it's propaganda. But when the institutions themselves are telling the story and traveling us along the path they have come, all this while, and why we are where we are today, the general public will understand more deeply that this is what we are proposing to do. Is not any propaganda, but it's the realistic, strategy to lift us out. So the immediacy of the matter led to that meeting, which is what has also even, informed the first announcement of the most significant, ministries that would have to work to secure the energy situation. the finance, the energy, and attorney general, if there are any agreements, emergency agreements we have to go into with our neighboring countries to lift, fuel to come and power our plants, we will need, an attorney general. We will need the Minister of Energy to negotiate some of these terms and conditions, and then of course we need a finance minister to start looking around for where we can get money as quickly as possible to do so. I think that for many people are saying that why this first three is really, and it's not because the other sectors are not of priority. I think that the president himself has assured that within 21 days he would announce his cabinet, and his promise has his first major promise has been met, because he did promise on the campaign trail that he was going to run a lean government, and he told us just by how much. He said 60, and just 2 days ago he reiterated the fact that he will appoint 60 ministers, and also to let the rank and file understand that sacrifices would have to be made and people would have to understand. I think in a light moment he said he's already received over 1,000 CVs for a 60, ministerial position. So it's going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be a lot of calculations. Obviously, yes. So we all just need to understand, if you're called upon to serve, it will be a rare privilege that will require you to work from the depths of your heart with only one goal in mind, that is to deliver the social contract and the mandate we have had from the people of Ghana. For those who will not be lucky to be on, I am sure there will be so many other opportunities that you can continue to contribute. And my point is that if we work so hard to really build the prosperity that we need in this country, we will equitably distribute those gains. So not everyone can work in a ministerial portfolio, but there are so many other thousands of other, appointments that the president will be making. And if people are interested in those places, I'm sure that at the end of the day, the right people will be given opportunities to serve. On with regards to, so that's with the energy sector. So they are working on it. They have a roadmap. And I'm sure, as His Excellency has assured, that he will do all within his power to ensure we do not have a return to blackouts and light outs. We would get the fuel, and that's the thing with good neighborliness. And the inauguration and the numbers of foreign presidents and dignitaries that came was real testament. It has never happened before. I think even within the sub-region, they are mentioning that this is one of the most well-attended, high-powered, delegation from across the world, because he does have goodwill, which means Ghana has goodwill within the Committee of Nations. How we use that goodwill within the, this year should really help us, reset and restore this nation. And I hope that everybody who has opportunity to work will not work in such a way that this goodwill would depart from us anytime soon. It's such a huge mandate. And within the sub-region, there is a lot of respect for Ghana. And so I'm sure people will be rooting for His Excellency to succeed, and they'll be willing to help him in the ways that they can, so that we can rebuild this nation that is currently in tatters. But all hope is not lost. Right. On the issue of education, briefly, we knew that there was crisis at hand. The school management boards, even before the inauguration of His Excellency, CHAS had issued a plea to the Education Ministry to postpone the reopening date because they simply did not have food. And you cannot send children to school without food. Then they later also added that parents should send their wards to school with food. Otherwise, your ward will be hungry. They had been hungry for a long time because the food was largely inadequate and of poor quality. That has been one of the major problems with the free senior high school program. Again, His Excellency said he has not been voted on to lament about the problems. We will speak about the nature of the problem. We will communicate the problem to the good people of Ghana, and we will also communicate the strategies that we will co-create together with all stakeholders within the education subsector to come out with the most workable, strategies to ensure we have a free senior high school, but of quality and of quality tuition, of quality living standards, and of course, feeding standard as well. So the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, is meeting with Charles today to discuss how, because the President has directed that the food, they imported a lot of rice because of the dry spell, which is now coming in warehouses. That was the New Patriotic Party. So Julius Deborah is going to work with Charles to see how we can quickly redistribute some of these foods that are currently sitting in warehouses to the schools so that our children would not go hungry. So this is a government with conscience and of conscience, and they're truly committed, and His Excellency truly wants to build this nation. Please, let us all support him.
Okay, I have another program coming up. So, Larato, I'll give you just about 2 minutes, so we wrap up.
You started early.
Yes, I have started early.
For the ministries and the names that are being given, it's obvious that names are being given to the ministries or realigned to fit the promises that was made during campaign. What struck me when I saw this on Saturday was the clear omission of sanitation, which is one key issue we have. But be as it may, they just started. I was surprised health and education didn't come with the first three. And we can only wish them well. But the point is, what I'm saying is that when you look at it like Ministry of Energy, there's green transition added to it. There's jobs added to labor and employment. Agribusiness added to it. Sanitation and waste management is one of the models they intend to roll out under the 24-hour economy stated in their manifesto. So it was quite surprising. Health has a sanitation, environment does. But sometimes when you put it clearly, then you know where it belongs so that you don't have some of these things falling out because they are not explicitly mentioned. Shamima, please. You are going to have 48 months to explain all these things. So just reserve yourself. You'll be explaining more of these things. And I think that for some of the questions that were asked when certain decisions were taken by previous administrators to the thinking behind some of these things, I think it will help if it's that, because the President indicated that he will be speaking to Ghanaians and explaining issues. So I think some of these things must be explained so that other civil servants in ministries that are not mentioned don't feel like they are losing jobs. Because it happened before when ministries were realigned. They still work under the minister, but some in different buildings and all that. But there's a minister. So these things I don't think really say or don't say how successful the government is going to be. He's now forming his government. With respect to the energy crisis, the lights were on. All we need them to do as government in charge is to keep them on. I think the panic that my brother John shared was unnecessary. Stating that we have 5 hours of fuel left and all that, I think that was unnecessary. Because
it was a fact, or it was unnecessary?
Well, I think it was unnecessary panic and fear to do it. There was supposed to be a maintenance on the gas pipeline.
So it was an unnecessary
fact. What are they doing now? They are doing same to deal with the issues. I think some of these utterances going forward should not. You just let citizens panic for nothing. It's been over 5 hours since he made that statement. And fortunately, his energy minister, I was even asking a lawyer that now that this EI has come out, what does that do to the designation that was communicated to Parliament for his vetting. Because what went to Parliament was Ministry of Energy. Now it's Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. So I hope all these things will be clear during the. But we can only wish them well. They are in charge, and they should fix their issues. That's all we accept them.
I thank you. I thank you, Lara.
Thank you.
Sammy, I know you want to say something about that. I'm pressed for time. Thank you. I have the sports. Michael.
Because we have moved from an era where there were 123 ministers. Everybody said it's too much. They didn't listen.
Shamima.
They brought it down to 83.
It's the approach of a
very responsive government. And let's continue to be responsive.
A leader may appoint less ministers.
Okay. I thank you. I thank you, ladies, for coming through. Michael is coming through with Metro Sports.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all.